One of the solutions that we specialize in here at Onsharp is portals. With me today, I have John Wieser from Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative to talk a little bit about the grower portal that we built for him. So John, thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, very much appreciate it. John, could you let everybody know what your role is at Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative?
Sure. So I'm IT director, been there almost 34 years. And I work heavily with software and I work heavily with agriculture systems.
So John, when evaluating, different development partners, what did you guys see as kind of the most important things to take into account before you made your decision?
First of all, Onsharp had a great reputation in the industry. We had lots of good feedback from other professionals in the industry. We thought Onsharp was the best suited for a complicated project like this. We are familiar with other agencies that maybe are a little bit smaller, maybe aren't quite adequately staffed to do something like this. Our time was critical. Our budget was not huge. And we felt that Onsharp could do it all.
Can you share a little bit about Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative and the challenge you were facing before coming to Onsharp?
What we did is we combined two different portals that were some older technology and some things that just weren't working for us anymore. They needed to be updated. We had a grower information system where growers could enter their own field information and the agronomic data, and we modernized that. And then we combined it with harvest information. Basically put it all in one place for the growers. The growers love it. They have a nice, simple interface. They have no trouble entering their field data. They love the harvest information data. And in a lot of ways, they're getting more information than they got before, all in one place.
Yeah, I know when we were talking initially, that was kind of one of the big challenges, is kind of getting all that into one centralized location and making it a really good experience for everybody from that perspective. So it's really good to hear that, that was kind of the challenge at hand, if you will. So how did those challenges, impact the business operations, I guess, before coming to us?
Well, it created more phone calls for our ag staff, number one. And we were to the point where our technology was obsolete. We were going to have to do something in the next year or face losing that information. We wouldn't be able to process it. So it didn't seem right to upgrade the two older technologies we had. It was best to start fresh, clean slate with something that would be simple for the growers to use, simple for us to use. And that paid off.
So John, what has the feedback and response been from the users that are actually using this grower portal?
So what we heard right away is the speed of which the thing operates. They would say, I just dumped that load of beets, pulled it up on my phone, and there it was within a matter of seconds. So that was very cool. We weren't always right up to date. Sometimes we were a minute, sometimes 20 minutes behind. So that was pretty cool. And you can imagine when we have about 1,000 or more users on the phone. So every grower might have 4 truckers, or it gets to be over 1,000 people looking at this on their phone. They come up with new ideas for changes. So your team has made a lot of those changes. They have a lot of good ideas. They're the users. They're the ones who know what they want to see. The response is, that's great. Can we get more? And we're going to give it to them. They are the owners of the co-op. So if it makes sense, if it sounds like a legitimate sort of a thing to add, we try to add it. Mm-hmm. And Onsharp has moved quickly. When we've asked for things, a lot of times I'll say, let's do this next year. And Joe Hickson will call me back and say, we'll have it tomorrow if you want it.
We like to be quick. That's right. Well, and that's the beauty of, all the systems that we build is, everything is scalable. So you can kind of take it wherever you want to go as your, business needs, change and grow and so forth. So that's really good to hear from that side of it. Were there specific aspects of Onsharp that influenced the decision to work with us by chance?
I heard good things around the industry. So that was number one. You're detail oriented. You're used to working with companies like us. You have Midwest values, hardworking, fun-loving. So projects like this, they wind up being fun. And we did have a lot of fun working on it. Yeah. And for whatever reason, your team seemed like we explained things just as best we could. They understood it right off the bat. And sometimes they understood things we didn't even say, which in our industry, we have so many quirks and weirdness to our industry. We're not used to that. So that's really cool, getting someone from the Midwest with some agriculture background.
And to your defense, you guys explained it very well. So, so that makes it a lot easier. But yeah, it's, obviously we really enjoy working with the ag side of our clients, or agriculture clients, I should say. And, you guys were obviously a fantastic client from that perspective. So it felt like the collaboration was always there since day one, even from the first time you and I met all the way through the discovery process, everything like that. So it felt really smooth on our end as well. So it's really nice to hear that you guys felt the same too. So how was your experience during the planning stages of the development process? When we talked about going through like the discovery and we did the discovery, how was that process for you?
It was good. It was like a conversation. Joe Hickson and Jaden were on the phone call, and I could tell right then, very detail oriented. And a lot of the questions were the who, what, where, why, when, and how types of questions on everything we talked about. And I thought, yeah, they're covering all the bases. And then the cool thing was, after discovery, we didn't answer a lot of those questions again. They were just understood.
Documented, ready to go. Which
was still surprising, because we're weird. We're strange in the sugar industry. That's common. That not a lot of people understand that. Some of the things we do.
So it sounds like the communication between both the teams was pretty seamless for the most part. Can you describe, I guess in detail, how you and your team, use the solution Onsharp built for your daily operations?
We use it as a data historian, number one. So our internal group will get on and look at grower field agronomic data, sometimes even pull up harvest data. If a grower says they're seeing something, we'll pull up the harvest data that they see and look at it to see what they're doing. That, has become, we loaded quite a few years of history, maybe 20, quite a few years of history. So that's all there too. And we are switching how the growers are paid. So Onsharp will have history, it's a current system with historical data. And our current system, which is an IBM system, will be retired.
What significant changes have you noticed, John, in the business since implementing the solution that we built for you?
I think expectations have gone up. That not only from the growers, but from management.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so easy. Can you do X, Y, and Z? And, quite often the answer is yes. And none of that's as easy as it sounds, but yeah, it can be done. So that's a big change. And another thing, when we had a harvest app, Android, Apple app that was on your phone, it's quite an approval process that goes along with that. It takes a little bit of time. So just the smallest change can be a few days out. And then all the users on that app have to re-download, put on the new version.
Yep. Have to get comfortable with it again.
Yep. And there's approval from Google and Apple that I don't understand it. That takes time too when you switch versions.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Absolutely.
This was just clean, easy.
Overall, how satisfied are you with the experience that you had with Onsharp and the team here?
I would say 10 out of 10. Not exaggerating. Normally we have to revisit these projects with the account managers and with the team and go back and do things over and over. And if I remember right, we came in way under budget. And this was a complex project. And we expected to be, noses to the grindstone for months after we were already done. So just extremely happy. Your team picked up the ball and ran. I mean, they did exactly what we needed them to do. Got it done with plenty of time. We tested. We were comfortable on day one. And it worked on day one. When harvest started, everything was fine. Yeah.
Would you recommend our services to other businesses facing similar challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. And if I'm ever approached, I do. And I tell them we were ahead of schedule. We were under budget.
Fantastic. That is much appreciated. So I guess the last question for you that we have, John, is what is one thing that you would say to someone who is considering our services, who is maybe thinking about going with Onsharp? Like, what would you tell them if they haven't really made that decision as of yet?
I would say, First of all, we had really good experiences.
Mm-hmm.
This is a solid Midwest company, well-established, smart people, nice people, and the project is actually fun. I mean, we had fun working on this project, and I think their expectations would be the same.
Excellent. Thank you so much to John Wieser from Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative. And if you would like to learn more about Onsharp services, please visit us at onsharp.com.